Howdy y'all, it's Nick, and today I wanted to show y'all this new car refrigerator I just got for my 2026 Tesla Model Y Premium. This one's from TL Yard, so today I'll be showing y'all how to install it in your Tesla Model Y. And not only that, but we'll be testing it to see how cold it can get and how cold your drinks can get over time. So let me bring y'all in for a closer look at the unboxing, and we'll go ahead and install it in the car. Okay, so I got this fridge from TL Yard, the store, but it looks like the brand name for this fridge in particular is Temai. So let's go ahead and crack this open. I did take a peek inside before filming, but it looks like on the top we got a very nice guided instructions here, along with what appears to be a warranty card possibly. And then should be a fairly easy install. There's going to be two pieces here, so it's going to fit in the side pockets of your cargo space. So let me go ahead and take out the pieces here. All right, so this appears to be your top piece. This is the one with the door to access the interior of your fridge, and then the top portion is going to be your refrigeration unit there. And the second piece in here is going to be the main fridge compartment. So there's a few accessories inside. Okay, and also a box with instructions and accessories. All right, so we unboxed everything here. So let me break down what each part is. So this is going to be your top piece. This is where you can access all your goodies inside of the fridge. And this top portion here with the grill is your refrigeration unit. Here's the bucket, which is your insulated bottom piece that holds all of the drinks and food items that you want to put inside. And some accessories in here include your tray or shelving, and also a few baskets that you can put in to fit more items inside your fridge. And then also it comes with a microfiber towel in case you want to clean the inside. And inside of this box is going to be your user manual and some hardware to connect these two pieces together. But if you're wondering, this is going to be fitting inside of this cargo pocket, and the reason why is because there is a 12-volt cigarette lighter up in this bucket already, so it's going to make it nice and easy for you to connect some power to your fridge. So let me go ahead and read through the manual a little bit, and we'll begin the installation process. All right, and before we start, let me give y'all a closer look at what's in this cargo pocket here. So as you can see, here is your 12-volt cigarette lighter outlet there, which is easily accessible on the top of the pocket. And luckily, since this is a Tesla, let's go ahead and move the items over here to the other pocket. We got plenty of space to work with. So the first order of business is to remove this cargo cover here. That way it gives us some more room to work with putting in all the compartments in there. So let me put y'all back on the tripod and we'll begin. All right, so I went ahead and removed the cargo cover here. As you can see, it gives us more space to put this lower bucket in. So let's see if I've got this oriented right. So this should just fit in perfectly into the bottom portion of the pocket here. And now just putting the top piece in. So this does have some Velcro on the back here. As you can see, this will help keep it stable and stick it onto the carpet here itself. So let me see. So we'll go ahead and plug this in first before we slide it in. Now I'm not too sure which orientation for the cable is correct, so I'm just going to go try plugging it in. All right, so I think I got it pushed in as far back as I can. And the cable, I oriented the cable with the cable facing away from me, so pointing towards the outside of the car. And opening the door definitely helps you align it with the bottom bucket. That way you can push up against the top and pull on the bottom side. So now I think all we need to do is put in the hardware. So it looks like they call these the quick release pins. which help make sure the bottom and top do not separate, and this will cover the top of those pins. So okay, here, so with the top door open, with these quick release pins, look like they lock into place and they go in one way. So putting them in here, that's in place there, and this one as well. So it looks like you spin it inward. Okay, so I in fact did not have them down deep enough. So looks like once you actually push it in to the correct depth, then it'll actually lock in place pretty nicely. So now that's flush with this ledge there, this should pop on just like this. All right, guys, so the fridge is fully installed, and as you can see, it fits really nice in that cargo pocket, and you're not losing out on any space in the main compartment because it does tuck in real nice. It does poke out a little bit out here, but it's pretty flush with the walls of your cargo space, so you're not losing out on much. But we're not going to turn on the fridge just quite yet because it was stored on its side, so we want to make sure we don't damage the compressor with the refrigerant and oil like that. So let me go ahead and crack this open, and as you guys can see, there is a light inside, which is really nice because the space you have is really deep. So I've got a few drinks here that we can try putting in. So as you can see, with a normal bottle of water, it just swallows that up real nicely in there. And with cans of Coke, you can see how deep it can go. So guys, they do claim that you can fit 24 cans in here. Now I don't know if it's going to cool 24 cans, but it says it can fit it with the 16-liter space capacity inside. And guys, I can believe it because that space is really deep. So let me take these out and I'll show y'all what the baskets and tiered storage might look like inside of this fridge. So as you can see, this is your racked shelf, so you can put that right on top, and you can fit things down deep, and also your light stuff on top there. And if you don't want to use that, you can also use these baskets. So this graded basket here, you can fit this down there, so you still got space underneath. So let me see if I can fit in this can of mini Coke in there and put the graded basket on top. And guys, as you can see, that Coke is down there, so you can fit plenty of those mini Cokes in there and put some more on top. And then also, if you got some loose items you want to go put in there, you can also put them in that basket there. And also you can put this racked storage on top, and you can fit a whole lot of small things in there, guys. So I can't wait to test this out. I got the thermometers and everything to test out that cooling performance, so I'll show you all that on the next clip. All right, guys, so it is the morning, so I'm about to head out to work. I'm gonna see how well it's going to cool some drinks while I go to work. It takes 30 minutes or 40 minutes for me to get to work, so let's go ahead and peel this off. Looks like we'll just hold it for 3 seconds to turn it on. All right, and so looks like it's set to 5 degrees, but the lowest should be around -6 degrees Celsius. Let me just turn this to 0 for now, but let's go ahead and open that up. So I've got a few tools we're going to use. So I've got this ambient temperature thermometer, and not only that, but I also have a refrigerator thermometer as well. So right now the Tesla app shows me is 89 degrees in the cabin, so of course it's going to go down while I drive, but this also tells us if it's going to reach thermometer temperature. So 0 degrees should be right there at that black mark. So I'm just going to take all the baskets out just to make sure we've got the best performance we can get. So actually, before we put these drinks inside, I've got a laser thermometer here. We're going to see the temperature. Now, this might not be completely accurate because we're testing the outside temperature, but to get some measurements here, looks like the water bottle is about 82 degrees. And for the sparkling water, about 80 degrees. And the Coke is also about 80 degrees. So let's go ahead and stick these in. I know that laser thermometer is not so accurate maybe when the surface is reflective, or especially when the can is aluminum itself, but we're gonna go ahead and stick it in here. It's about 86 degrees ambient, and we've set it to 0 degrees Celsius. So let's see what 30 minutes will get us in terms of the temperature, and I'll also take a drink if it seems pretty cold. Okay, so I just got to work. It's been about 35 minutes. As you can see, the interior temperature is 73, but back here is 85.6 degrees. That's because I still have the parcel shelf on, so the interior climate control is not going to cool down this area too much, but also this emits a good amount of heat, y'all. It is a refrigeration unit, so of course it spits out, outputs heat. So let's go ahead and take a look. As you can see, it's reached 7 degrees Celsius so far. So let me go ahead and crack this open and take out the drinks we've got. So it does feel cool in here, guys. We can take a look at that thermometer I left in there. The drinks themselves, they don't feel too cool yet. But looking at this, let's see if it's right, 7 degrees Celsius. So inside looks like it's still about 65 degrees Fahrenheit or 18 degrees Celsius. So it's not quite the 7 degrees that it says, but yeah, looking at the inside, there are no fans to circulate air in there. So most of your cooling will be from the wall. So the wall here and on top is really cold. As you can see, it's frosting up there a bit. So let me get the laser thermometer and see how cold that top piece actually is. So yeah, that looks like to be 30 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees Celsius. So just at the wall itself is pretty cold, and that says 0 degrees. And on this side, about -1 Celsius, which is about 29 degrees Fahrenheit. So the walls themselves are pretty cool. So because there's no fan circulating the air, it seems like it's going to take a while for it to actually cool down the entire compartment in there. So the temperature, let me close that so it doesn't lose all that cooling. But the drinks, they don't seem cool to the touch, but let me use the laser here. So still about 77, 80 degrees. All right, so I'm gonna try and keep the fridge running while I'm in the office, and to do that, you'll need to go into your settings and go into charging. And down here, when you scroll down, you can do keep accessory power on. So that will allow your accessories to remain on even after you exit the vehicle. So which is exactly what we need with that 12-volt outlet. So let me go ahead and turn that on. And we'll keep the fridge running. I'll walk back out maybe 30 minutes to an hour and see how cold it gets. But let me go ahead and put everything back in there, and we'll take some temperature readings throughout the day. All right, so it's been an hour since I got to work, and checking the temperature inside the car. Looks like the interior is reading 82 degrees. Outside is about 80. So far, it says it's still 6 degrees Celsius. I'm not too sure how to put this in Fahrenheit, but I'll figure out on how to move that to Fahrenheit. But I'll put the reading on the screen. But opening this up, let's see how cold it really got in here. Okay, so the drinks are feeling a little cooler. They're not quite ice cold yet, but let's check this here. So our temperature reading now is about 56, 57 degrees Fahrenheit, and maybe 13, 14 degrees Celsius, which is a lot better than earlier. But I guess it doesn't help too much that we're just letting the car sit in the sun in the parking lot. But let me take the readings of the drinks here. Yeah, 72, 75, so room temperature. 77, about 78. So let me just keep this inside. I think next time I'll check it might be around lunchtime, which is still 2 hours from now. So we'll check back in 2 hours, see if it improves at all. But this would be a good test, guys, if you're out on the park picnicking or anything. You can come back to the car with a cold drink after your hike or walk around the park. So we'll just let it keep running. Maybe if I set this a little lower, it might help us a little bit. So I'm just gonna set it to -6 degrees, which is the max. So we'll let that run and see how it works in 2 hours. Okay, so it's been about 2 hours. As you can see, exterior temperature, we're looking at 85 degrees. The AC is running in the cabin, so 76 degrees inside, but I've been leaving this out here outside of the basket. It's about 102 degrees back here. And the fridge is still reading at 7 degrees Celsius. And also, I pulled a cooled bottle from the fridge inside the office, just to see what temperatures we should be looking at here. So about 45 degrees Fahrenheit or 9 degrees Celsius. So let's go ahead and open this up again and see. So we can see there's a lot of frost coming up on the walls of the fridge there, and pulling these out. Okay, so we're getting somewhere, guys. So the cans and the bottle does seem pretty cool. So pulling out the thermometer here. So yeah, now we're looking at about 11 degrees Celsius, about almost 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So we are getting cooler, guys. So it's been about 3.5 hours of continuous operation. So let's close that up, and let's take a look at how cold these are. So as you can see, there's already condensation building on the water I pulled out from the fridge here. So let's measure this. So yeah, we're looking okay, guys, at 50, about 50, 55 here. And then the sparkling water, 65, and the Coke, about the same too. So we're looking good, guys. So I've been parking it out on the sun, out on the surface lot around the office. So we're just gonna let it keep run all the way until the end of the day here. So since the cooling comes from up top, let me just go ahead and put in this rack storage there and see if it gets any cooler this way. So hopefully everything will fit lying down. Nice. So hopefully this way we can get better results doing it like this. And of course, if your cabin is cooler than it is just parked out in the sun, this will perform a lot better, and we'll do that when I'm back in the driveway. All right, so it's been 4 hours later. Exterior temperature is at 89 degrees. Back here is 109. And our fridge is sitting at 7 degrees Celsius, but it's been the whole day, guys. So let's see if these drinks are finally cold sitting here the whole day. Let's just check the temperature here real quick. So looks like we're at 10 degrees Celsius exactly, and 50 degrees Celsius. But okay, now we're talking. These drinks are chilled now. So let's go ahead and pull these out and see what our laser thermometer says about them. Okay, so 45 degrees Fahrenheit, 7 degrees Celsius, 53 or 11. And about 47 or 9 degrees Celsius. So as you can see, there's already condensation building on the water and on the cans themselves. You can also see some condensation. But guys, this is pretty cool. Let me take a sip. All right, guys, I'm in the parking lot, so not ideal, but let me go ahead and crack this open and see. So it's ice cold. It's as if I just pulled this out of my home refrigerator. So I'd say it works pretty well, but it did take the whole day. So tomorrow I'm going to find out if it works well, if it's if the car's sitting in the garage or sitting out in the shade. So tomorrow we'll try again in the garage and see if it works even better if it's under shaded conditions, because as you guys can see, it's pretty hot here. So let's see if it works if it's not in the blazing sun the whole day. So we're back in the garage, and I just wanted to show y'all before we begin our next test that the parcel shelf still fits in the cargo space here. However, it does spill into your second bucket. So if you have one of those plastic liners in there or got larger items stored in that pocket, just note that if you do need to store your parcel shelf, it will spill into that bucket. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at how this performs while it's in the driveway or in cooler scenarios. So as you can see, the ambient temperature right now is 85 degrees. So let me stick y'all on the tripod and we'll take a look. Okay, so let me go ahead and turn this on and we'll begin our test here. So I'm just gonna run this throughout the day and see how cold it can get. We'll check back in maybe an hour and maybe after a couple more hours, but let's go ahead and turn this on. So yeah, it looks like we're set at 0 degrees, and right now inside is 29 degrees Celsius. I did keep the thermometer in here, so looks like, yeah, we're about 29 degrees. So here on this thermometer, we're at about 28, 29, 80 degrees, or this also can read, that's the maximum reading, so it could just be a little hotter than in there, but let's just keep that in there. And we do have our same drinks, a water bottle, sparkling water, and a smaller can of soda. Yeah, we're about 79, 80 degrees there. Can is about 83, 84. And this one's about 84 as well. So let's go ahead and stick this in and we'll see how cold it gets. And I'm going to use the tiered rack here because we know that the condenser coils are actually all on the walls of the fridge, so it gets cooler up on top faster than it does on the insulated bottom. So let's go ahead and just stick these in. I wanted to check out the phone app. So there is a Temai app here. Okay, so let me go ahead and we'll click on add device here. Okay, and it looks like it automatically picked it up there. Go ahead and click on that. Okay, and clicking on our Glacier Y, it says connection successful. And let's see what we can do. So if you guys can see, a Bluetooth symbol just popped up on the screen display here. So it works based off Bluetooth. So let's just play through the settings we can set here. So it looks like we get some information about the fridge, and we can adjust the temperature on the fly on the phone app here. And we can also set eco mode, which allows the fridge to work in eco mode, so less consumes less power and also less cooling capability. And this colder function is the low mode. So basically, low mode, from what I've read in the manual, is that the compressor will run continuously for 2 hours, and it'll also be a little louder while it cools down the fridge super fast. So we'll just set it to 32 degrees. I don't want to run it too hard right now. And looking through here, let's see what's in settings. So, oh, well, I guess you can adjust the temperature unit a lot faster on the phone app rather than going through the display there. So that's nice to know now. But the phone app is pretty cool, but it looks like since it's Bluetooth, you need to be pretty close to the fridge to actually operate it. But if you're tailgating or picnicking, this should be a nice app that accommodates your fridge here. So I'll just keep this running for an hour, and we'll see how cold it can get and how cold the drinks can get. Okay, everyone, so I just lied. So we ran this thing for actually 2 hours in the low settings. So hopefully it should be super cool now. So as you can see, the ambient temperature in the trunk has remained about the same, 89 degrees here. And then our fridge is reading at 37 degrees. So let's pop this open, pull out our drinks. Okay, and guys, we're looking good here. The drinks feel nice and cold. Let's go ahead and close that up. And our in fridge thermometer here is reading about 52 degrees Fahrenheit, about 11 or 12 degrees Celsius. So not quite what the fridge says itself, but let's go ahead. As you can see, the drinks are already showing some condensation here. But let's measure the temperature before we crack it open. Okay, so we're reading about 53 degrees on the water and about 64, 65. Or actually, we got 62 there on the sparkling water. And we're reading 53 on the small can of Fanta there. Okay, so the real test here is not the temperature of the bottles themselves, but rather, how do they taste? Are they cold? Are they actually going to be refreshing you out in the 90-degree weather? So let's give it a taste. Okay, so yeah, for after 2 hours, this bottle of water is nice and cold. This is as if I pulled it out of the fridge. Now the sparkling water. Now, I'm not a big fan of sparkling water, so the sparkling water is not as cold as if I pulled it right out of the fridge. It probably needed another hour or so inside to make it actually really cool, but it is cool, a lot better than if I just drank room temperature sparkling water. And for the small can of Coke, hopefully this one is nice and cold due to the size. So this one is, compared to this, which is a regular can, 12-ounce can, this one is a 7.5-ounce can. So let's give this a taste. So this one's nice and cool too. So this one is also not quite as cold as if I had pulled it out of my fridge inside the house, but it's definitely a lot cooler than this one, than the bigger can. So for 2 hours, I'm not complaining. It cooled down these drinks really nicely. So if you're on a road trip, I would say road trip, you know, at least 2 hours long, your drinks are gonna be nice and cold. But not only that, but if you got picnic items, got sandwiches in there, it also keep them nice and cold, keep them from spoiling, and have a nice lunch out when you arrive at your destination. So guys, this fridge from TL Yard is super useful. If you guys like to go on road trips or spend a lot of time outside with your family, road trips or picnics, this is a really nice addition to your Model Y. This space wouldn't otherwise be used for much else, especially since you have the 12-volt outlet right there in the pocket. It's really convenient. And guys, it takes up so little room in your cargo space. You still got this other pocket. You can still fit the parcel shelf inside this cargo area, and it's going to keep your drinks nice and cool. Your food items, your sandwiches, your picnic items, they're all going to stay nice and fresh and cool. And guys, you can keep this running for all day long if you want to keep a personal fridge while you're at the office or at work or wherever you might be. I mean, it's really useful, especially you got an EV, you got basically an infinite source of battery here. They say it only takes up 0.5 kilowatt hours per day. So really you're looking at 120 to 150 days of service life if you're just running this without moving the car. But either way, it's a lot of runtime. You get a lot with this fridge inside your Tesla Model Y. So if you're interested in picking one up, you can use code OTNIC for 25% off on TL Yard. But other than that, if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. I've got more content on the way for this car, maybe another car. But otherwise, I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's day.